Tengo is Spanish for I've got it. It's also the name of a band from New Jersey. They were formed in 1984 and they're still going. They've had a few changes of members, but given that this is nearly 40 years, not that many. Of course, in that amount of time, they've managed to create several albums. I have counted 17 on Wikipedia. They are not hugely commercially successful, but critics absolutely love them. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 11th album by Tengo, and it is my first listen to it. I have come across them before, but they haven't made a huge impression on me, so I wouldn't say I know them or know what they're about particularly. Broadly, I might describe this as being experimental rock. The problem is, though, that they're actually quite hard to describe and very varied on this album. So I would say here I've heard things that remind me of dream pop, of post-rock, of Latin, of noise rock, of indie rock, of garage rock and roll, and of krautrock. They use some standard instruments, but they've also got brass and violin and some other things. There's a fairly lo-fi piano sound going on in several of the songs. The vocals are fairly kind of dreamy in the sense that they're not kind of in-your-face vocals. It's kind of laid back, a little bit kind of mellow. Not all the music is like that, and not all the singing's like that either, because, again, it's very varied. I want to pick out a few tracks in particular. There's a track called Black Flowers, which surprisingly, I don't really know why, reminded me of Paul McCartney in the way that it's singing, and possibly the tune as well. There are 3 longer tracks, which are probably my favourite tracks on the album. So there's the first track, Past the Hatchet, I Think I'm Good Kind. It's probably my favourite of all of them, which is a bit of a kind of krautrock jam that goes on for a good 10 minutes or something like that. There's one in the middle called Daphnia, which I think is instrumental, which mostly features a kind of watery guitar sound and this lo-fi piano and some sound effects. It's quite mellow. It felt kind of like lazy, sunny Sundays in the summer, and other words beginning with S. Again, I quite liked it. Surprising for me, given that I tend not to like this kind of guitar sound, but I thought it worked quite well on this song. And then the last track is the story of Yo Tango, spelt wrong on purpose, which is kind of a rockier jam going on. The overall feel is kind of lo-fi. It's got a kind of slight awkwardness to it, which I'm sure is deliberate. I'm not saying that they're doing that because they can't do what they're meant to be doing. I think that they're giving this slight awkward atmosphere in particular. Maybe awkward's not the right word, but I can't think of a better word for it. So I want to give a little bit of insight into my scoring system here. I don't really talk about it very much, but kind of as broad strokes here, 5s and below are things that I really don't like. They're stuff that don't have enough redeeming qualities for me to want to listen to them at all, and I'd rather avoid them. The sort of things that when it's starting to get low, sort of things I'd ask somebody to turn off if they were playing it. 5 to 6 is tolerable. It's kind of, I don't really feel anything about it. It's just kind of, pretty weak, but it's okay. 6 plus is acceptable. So the stuff in the 6 is stuff that I wouldn't ask somebody to turn off. I don't object to. But often in this region, there are things that I don't feel I have a very strong feeling about or opinion on. 7s are definitely into the area of what I call good. And these are albums that I would choose to listen to again. And that's the kind of the question that I ask myself if I'm on the border of, thinking, is it a 6s or 7s? Would I pick it out to listen to it again if I remembered it and thought of it? 8s are definitely excellent. They're really strong albums. These are things that I would potentially buy a copy of, and have kind of permanently in for the rest of my life. 9s, obviously, we're getting really high here. These are outstanding, truly superb albums. And then I reserve 10 for albums that I think are just somehow streets ahead of other things. They're exceptional. They're kind of beyond my comprehension of how something can actually be that good. So this album Where's it going to fit? Well, when I asked myself the question, would I choose to listen to it again? The answer was probably not, actually. I know that critics have liked this album a lot. I know that there will be people out there who really enjoy this and get this. For me, I found it interesting, but I didn't actually find it as engaging as I'd like. It's not bad. It's just, yeah, it didn't engage me that much. So it's acceptable, is what I'm saying. So that's what I think. As always, I'd love to know what you think, particularly if you love this album. Please tell me why. I'd love to be enlightened as to what the qualities are, if maybe I'm missing them. And that's it from me for now.